Hi, this is Monica from Add a Little Dazzle, and welcome to day 2 of my card making idea series. Today we're going to be talking about embellishments, but we're going to be talking about embellishing stamped images. So stay tuned. The first thing you can do when embellishing a stamped image is just stamping it and heat embossing it. And I'm going to use the masking technique for this, but there's a couple of steps that you need to do a little bit differently so you can heat emboss this in 2 layers. After you've stamped the first image, then you need to go ahead and pick up the gold embossing powder and remove the excess and heat emboss this image. As you can see, I've now heat embossed the image and I've created depth and texture. So now I want to add another tulip on the back, and as we went over in yesterday's video, you need to create a mask. When you're just stamping the image, then you can just go ahead and place this on top and stamp the next one. But when you're heat embossing a masked image, you need to heat emboss the first image, then come back and stamp the next image. So I'm going to place this where I want my tulips to come out, and I'm thinking right about there. So I'm going to line up my Stamp-A-Majig, remove this, and then come back in and stamp my image again. And I'm going to remove my mask, and you can see my image in the back. Now I'm going to take my embossing powder and go over the second image. Now here, if you have some stray embossing powder on the outside, it doesn't matter because we're actually going to be cutting this image out. And so now I'm going to go ahead and heat set this so that both images are embossed. So now that I've heat embossed my image and set it with gold embossing powder, I want to add color to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gumball green marker and I'm just going to lightly color in on my image. So I've gone over that there, and then I'm going to take my blender pen and I'm going to use this tip, and I'm going to go back into where I colored in with the Stamping Right marker, and I'm just going to blend the color. And now I need to color my tulips, and I want to color them in Elegant Eggplant, but I don't have the Stamping Right marker in that color. So I'm going to show you how you can do this with your stamp pad. So you're going to flip it over, close it, and you're going to press down in the center, open it, and it's going to create this puddle right there. So you're going to take your blending pen and use that to color, but I have green on there. So for right now, I'm just going to clean it off on my hand there. So I'm going to come in here and pick up that Elegant Eggplant, and I am going to start coloring it. I can go as light or as dark as I want. And what a beautiful way of embellishing a stamped image by just coloring it in with classic inks that you already have. And so I'm going to keep on doing this until I've colored in all my tulips. As you can see, I've gone ahead and finished coloring in my stamped image. I want to really add texture to this, but I don't want it to be complicated and I don't want it to take forever to dry. So I'm going to teach you a technique that I use to add that touch to this stamped image that allows you to create a beautifully embellished stamped image on your card making ideas without having to use a lot of embellishments if you don't have them. So I've gone ahead and placed some crystal effects in this container, and I'm going to use it to embellish my stamped image. Normally you will hear people saying they just pour it all over and it's fine. I tried that and I didn't like that because it took too long to dry, and I don't want anything that's going to take me too long to make, especially if I want to mass produce a card. This one that I really like a lot. So I poured some crystal effects in there, and I took a paintbrush and I'm actually going to paint inside of it. So instead of pouring it, I'm going to come in and paint a thin layer of the crystal effects in there. And this is a very easy way to add a beautiful look to a stamp set without having to do too much to it. So as you can see, I finished brushing on the crystal effects onto this image, and it just looks gorgeous. This is just such an easy and beautiful way to embellish stamped images without having to get crazy with so many add-ons. Now, if you like add-ons, that's great. I'll show you on another stamp that you can do this with. For example, this one right here, the Peaceful Petal stamp. This is a gorgeous stamp set, and I will be featuring some projects with this. And on these stamped images, for example, on this one, you can do all the same things, and then here in the center, you can embellish your stamped images by placing little pearls or little rhinestones in the center. Here you can add some little micro beads. So there's a lot of ways that you can add embellishment. As you can see, this is a very easy way to add a beautiful effect to all your card making ideas. And once I cut this out and assembled this card, look at what a difference and how beautiful this card looks. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to embellish your stamped images, and I invite you to follow us on YouTube so you can continue watching the rest of the series, in where I will be teaching you another technique that is featured on this card. I invite you to visit me at www.addalittledazzle.com, where I share different inspirational ideas with you. And you can also sign up for my newsletter so that you can receive exclusive content that is available just for my newsletter subscribers. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at monica@addalittledazzle.com. Thanks, and have a dazzling day.